The one place in particular that I worked, the Co-op Housing Federation of BC, was a non-profit, the same as South Granville Seniors. And I also worked, there's a small staff here. There's only four people staff, and they run the whole organization. And when I worked at Co-op Housing, when I started, there was only 3 staff, and it's a huge challenge. And I've always felt like I want to volunteer here because I want to help, but I always have a real fondness for the staff and how they're doing, and are we coming up with so many ideas that they're so overwhelmed they're not going to be able to do them all. I always feel like I'm myself looking out for the staff. I want to make sure that they're doing okay. Do they need any help? I mean, that's part of why I'm on the board. That's one of my main focuses on the board. I mean, I believe in the organization, but I know in a small nonprofit, the mental well-being of the staff is really important. So I think that's some of what I brought from my job to volunteering. I kind of knew what it was like to work in a small nonprofit. I find that I am kinder, I'm more patient than I used to be. I can see that there's, especially as I get older and I'm hanging around with older people, there's people that have needs that are much larger than mine. And you wouldn't know it unless you were sitting down having a cup of tea with them and saying, "How are you doing today?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you know," they're upset about something and stuff, and you can sit and talk with them and stuff like that. And I feel I have a lot to give that way. I have a lot of empathy for people that are having struggles. And I know that some seniors never talk to somebody for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And sometimes they're going to walk in here and you see them there and you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And you don't even know them, but you say, "How are you doing?" And they're like, oh, they're surprised. And you've made this little connection. And so maybe in a really small way you've changed their life that day. Maybe they were feeling like crap, you know, and you said something to them and they've got that to think about. They can go that, maybe they'll come back the next day. I think I have more room in my life for people than I did when I was a younger person working.